What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to Picking a Fight. I'm Latch.
I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to be looking at UFC 276, Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira. But before we started, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't. We're putting out videos for almost every fight night and pay-per-view. And go ahead and check out our other videos. We're actually doing every other fight on this same card, including the 2 title fights. So go ahead and check those out if you haven't. And yeah, let's get right into it, Jeff. Who we got?
Yep, so we got Sean Tarzan Strickland. His record is 25 wins, 3 losses. He's 31 years of age. He's 6 feet 1 inches tall. He's 76-inch reach. He's coming off back-to-back wins against Jack Hermansson and Uriah Hall. And he's going against Alex Pereira. His record is 5 wins, 1 loss. He is 34 years of age, 6'4". He has an 80-inch reach, and he's also coming off back-to-back wins, but against Bruno Silva and Andreas Micheladas. Before we get to the nitty-gritties, I want to ask you, Lech. So how do you think this matchup came about? Like it's completely kind of random to me. Let me get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so obviously Strickland coming off 2 really good wins against 2 middleweight staples, Jack Hermansson and Uriah Hall, and he's ranked number 4. And this is actually a number 1 contender fight. So whoever wins this is probably next for the title. And you know, Strickland, he's been on a roll, number 4. And then you have Alex Pereira, he's relatively new, right? He's coming off back-to-back wins, but it's against Bruno Silva, who's a little newer, and Michelidas, I think that's what you say. And I think he got cut. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's no longer at the UFC. But yeah, and now he's not even ranked, and he's thrown against the number 4, and possibly is fighting for a title shot, right? It's because Pereira had a lot of hype behind him because outside the UFC, he's actually a really good kickboxer. He was the Glory champion before he came here to the UFC. I say here like I am the UFC. Came over to the UFC, and he actually has 2 wins over Israel Adesanya. So in kickboxing, he actually won by decision the first time, and then he knocked him out the second time. And so because he came over, people and the UFC are like, "Yo, this is the Adesanya killer head ass," right? So there's a lot of hype behind him. And so that's why his last 2 fights, no lie, the only one that didn't really favor him was his debut fight. Because that guy is a pretty good grappler, right? And we saw it. He was able to take him down, and he held him down for the whole first round. And then, you know, he's a real explosive guy. He hit him with the flying knee and then finished the fight. And then the Bruno Silva fight, if you know who Blindado is, he comes to fight, bro. He's a striker through and through. He has a good ground game, but he struck with Pereira, and, you know, he made it a dogfight for him, I think.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, Strickland now another striker in the middleweight division where there's some really strong wrestlers, you know, freaking Derek Brunson, Marvin Vettori, these guys that can wrestle. And they are basically like kind of like leapfrogging between guys because I think they're trying to give him favorable matchups so he has the chance to win. And if he does, now he has a big storyline and like there's a big like climactic fight for him, which is the rematch out of Adesanya in MMA this time, you know, and he has 2 wins over him in redemption, and so they're pushing this dude hard, bro. And he's shown to be pretty good. I think I'll tell you what I think in a little bit, but I mean he is good, bro, and he's like one thing I always criticize Adesanya about is his defense, right? His striking defense, because he relies on his height a lot, right? Because he just leans back, and it works because these guys, he has like 5+ inch reach advantages on these guys. But with Pereira's his size, he has his reach advantage. Like they're equal in reach, so like physically Pereira's a big guy, just as big as Adesanya, bro. So he has the same advantage over these guys, and man, he's powerful, bro. He got a nasty left hook. He actually knocked out Adesanya with it back in the day. And he is a force to be reckoned with. But he's really young in MMA. This is only going to be his 7th MMA fight, and it's not like he started off he didn't dive head first into MMA. Like while he was kickboxing, he would have like an MMA fight, and then he would kickbox match. Then so it's like sprinkled in there, and so I actually think that's going to be a huge disadvantage to him. His wrestling game, he's been working with Glover, actually. He's been working with Glover. Or was it Glover? Yeah, Glover. Yeah, and, dude, I don't think it's good enough, for real. And that's why I think they're pairing him up with guys like Strickland, who, I mean, he talks about how he never wants to be like that wrestling type of guy, right? But he might have to be that wrestling type of guy this fight, I think. I think it's a clear path to victory. I think Strickland's wrestling is superior to Pereira's wrestling defense. The only thing is Pereira's bigger and stronger, and the strength, you know, does translate when you're trying to stop takedowns. But I think if he's persistent, he can legit submit this guy. I think because I don't like Pereira. I don't like Strickland's chances standing. You know, they both fight kind of similarly, like really upright. Sean Strickland, he throws a lot of jabs, but he's gonna have to cover a lot of ground to land this jab now. Against someone who's way bigger than him.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man.
It's
crazy.
You saw in the last fight though, he had Silva was pushing him up against the fence, and he couldn't get out and stuff. You don't think Sean Strickland could do something similar to that?
Yeah, but if he's gonna do that, why not just shoot for the double against the fence?
Yeah, but it's different. I mean, I feel like it's easier to keep someone against the fence and keep him down on the ground, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Or even taking him down.
Taking him down is hard too. But I think Strickland's a pretty good wrestler in my opinion. But I think from what we've seen, it's pretty solid. It's just that he doesn't like to use it because he likes some. He's all about his money, and he's like that doesn't really. But I'm just saying, submissions sometimes get get you bonuses too. So I don't know. We might see him wrestle. I actually watched his media day today that he did.
Yeah.
And he, of course, he said some outlandish shit, outlandish stuff. But he talked about how he might have to wrestle and shit because the UFC paired him with Strickland that because they know he might not wrestle. But in my opinion, if he wrestles, I think it's a sweep for Strickland. I think if it strikes, I think it's still really close. I think the only big advantage that Pereira has is his power. Because I honestly, he's a good kickboxer and stuff, but I haven't really been like his hands don't look that crazy. Like they look heavy, and that makes it dangerous. But other than that, sometimes he barely throws his combinations. Throws one or two shots. He constantly throws his power hand over and over. I feel like his striking IQ is not translating. I think to MMA, but
I see that.
Like I said, power is everything. Even Ngannou, when he used to not be able to, his boxing was never the best.
Yeah.
At least when he first started, but he was still, able to triumph over some better technical fighters because of his power, And honestly, I have Strickland by decision. I think he's actually really durable. I think he's only been finished once or twice.
I think he's only lost. Yeah,
he's only lost three times. And he lost decision to Usman. He lost to.
I think he got kicked.
Yeah, he got knocked out by Zaleski dos Santos, but I don't remember who that third loss is and whether it was a decision or he got finished or something.
Do you think the kicks will matter as much here? Because I was thinking maybe Alex Pereira could use that to his advantage because he is the longer and the taller fighter,
and his kicks are pretty good too, bro.
Yeah, so
obviously
it was
kickboxing.
Yeah, so I was like, he could use that. I was thinking maybe he could.
Yeah, especially if he'll be at range. But the thing is, I feel like Pereira needs to have a really impressive performance. I believe. But either guy should if they want a guaranteed title shot. But I don't know, man.
Because I also have Sean Strickland. I do think they are pushing Pereira a little too hard. I do see the excitement in having a rematch with him and Adesanya again, but I think it's too early. It's only his third. This is his third, going to be his third fight, right, in the UFC. I don't know. I just feel like he hasn't really been molded yet. It's so. Yeah,
he's gifted for sure. He's a good kickboxer, but I don't know. There's too many I feel like it's not translating as well to MMA. He still looks he doesn't look as dominant. As we expected him to be, especially Bruno Silva took him down,
a couple of times.
Yeah. So it's he has a huge gaping hole in his game. And I'd be surprised if Sean Strickland kind of falls into that peer pressure of not wrestling.
Yeah.
He needs to wrestle, bro. He can get a submission win, bro, if he really wants to. But that's the big question. If he doesn't, he might lose.
Sean Strickland, I think he's only a brown belt though. But
but what is
Pereira not a belt at all?
No, I think he is. I don't know what exactly it is, but bro, it's different when you're a brown belt with a lot of experience, though. Especially when he's been rolling with a lot of good guys. He's jumped he goes to different camps and stuff, and he supposedly doesn't spar that nicely, but but when you roll and stuff with really good guys, that experience is invaluable. And obviously Pereira has Glover, but I don't know, just you have to do it multiple times. Experience is so key. And I mean, I don't know.
And I feel like it's always better like the, game time practice. Experience. I mean,
Yeah,
like it kind of helps you because if you're going with the same person, I don't know how he trains, but I'm assuming if he trains with Glover all the time, like you pick up on tendencies that other people don't have.
Yeah, that's unique to him.
Yeah, and so like I feel like he needs like that game time experience, which I think he has had a bit of, but I'm pretty sure Sean Strickland has like
way more.
Yeah.
So all right, so we just got word that but was it by decision?
It was by.
Yeah, I think it was by decision if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's only been finished once, and it was by it was Dos Santos, who's a Copiera, how you pronounce Copiera, and he kicked him. He did a spinning kick, I think, and that caught him. Yeah, I mean, but Strickland can get finished, man, but I feel like he's gonna wrestle, and if he does wrestle, I see him winning. So I'm gonna have to go Strickland by submission. I don't know what you think.
I'll go by. I don't know. Bruh, I'll just go decision. I think Sean Strickland will win, but I don't know if he could get the sub though. But I think he will get some takedowns.
Yeah, I did not expect Pereira to be a black belt. That makes no sense, right?
Me neither, but I don't know. I mean,
he's Brazilian, so so yeah. I mean, that's what we think. We think it's gonna be a really good fight. The odds reflect that. They're -105, -115, as close as you can get. I think they're like slightly leaning Pereira, but it's gonna be a close one. I mean, I think I'm gonna have to go with Strickland by submission. I think if he decides to use his wrestling, I think he can easily get the submission over Pereira. I just think he has that experience.
Yeah, I think the experience is going to be the big factor here, and I think Sean Strickland is just more experienced in the feet and, with wrestling and everything. So I think I got him by decision.
Yeah, I mean, Pereira has a huge opportunity on the same card as Adesanya to really show out, and if he can finish some of that stuff with Strickland, I'd be surprised if they don't give him the title shot next. They're running thin on contenders, and I mean, there's a huge storyline there. So, yeah, I mean, let us know down below what you think. Do you think Pereira gets it done and is next for Israel Adesanya, or do you think Sean Strickland upsets and derails the hype train? Let us know. And, yeah, I mean, don't forget to check out our other videos. We're doing every other fight on this same fight card, so go ahead and check those out. And don't forget to subscribe. It's going to be a great night of fights. Don't forget to tune in. We'll see you next week for RDA versus Fiziev, another banger. And, yeah, we'll see you then.
Yep, see ya.
See ya.